My next guest is Tracey Essex. Tracey is Executive Director of Loving All Animals. Tracey, welcome. I'm glad you're with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tracey, let's start off by telling us what is Loving All Animals.
Well, Loving All Animals is about 1 year old. It's a 501c3 charity, which was really created by Lindi Biggi. Most people know her as the Bird Lady.
The Bird Lady, yes.
There is a 2-acre bird sanctuary that she donated to Loving All Animals, and that's what started it. And the whole concept was to take this organization and have it be a catalyst for better usage of resources, funding, all those kind of things for all animal welfare organizations, and pulling in the national ones to work cooperatively with the local ones so that we're very strong and that we can truly help the animals.
Well, I was at a couple of those meetings, and I turned to the one sitting next to me, and I said, if anybody can pull this off, it's Lindi. Because
Absolutely.
It was such an overwhelming sound to what she was going to have to do to get all of these organizations together. And when you stop to think about it, that's often the toughest thing to do, is to get organizations to work together. How do you think she managed to do that?
Well, I guess the best example I can give you is a group went out to Duraville. That's the trailer park out in
tell
Thermal.
that story.
800 dogs that are stray or unwanted, roaming around, reproducing. And Lindi said, in order to stop this, we have to stop the production line. They have to be vaccinated, spayed, and neutered. Lindi got Humane Society of the United States to bring out the RAV unit, this huge mobile surgical hospital. She got the local veterinarians, vet technicians, lay people, Spanish-speaking people, and brought together this best friends from Utah participated. So all these groups that have no opportunity to work together and really no desire up until that point, and Lindi got them all working together. So one weekend out there were over 200 dogs spayed and neutered, and Save a Pet took back over 30 dogs and 1 duck.
And for those listeners that are listening on the website, they don't know where Duraville is. It's part of Coachella Valley.
Yes.
It's in the eastern part of the valley, and it's an area that's filled with, sadly, people that didn't have the funds to take care of their animals. This was a miracle that she pulled together.
And it's not just that they didn't have the funds to take care of their own animals. People started using it as a dumping ground. And if you dump an unaltered female dog, her and her offspring will produce 67,000 dogs over 7 years.
And some people felt like there were 67,000 of them there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, there is, again, this I just got through interviewing an author about a cat. And what this cat did for a small town. And they talked about, and the cat's name was Dewey, and they talked about the magic of Dewey. Lindy's got that magic. She's got that magic because so many people said, why should we care about Duraville? Why should we care about the people out there that can't take care of their animals? But Lindi managed to get, as you said, to get all of these people together to volunteer and do this wonderful, wonderful thing.
Exactly. And she always says, united we stand, divided we fail the animals. And when you take somebody who's got that enthusiasm, and it is contagious, and people end up wanting to do these things that before they said, we don't really do that. Humane Society said, well, we really don't loan out our equipment to other vets.
They did.
Oh, Lindi had that trailer unloaded before anybody could even think twice. She's like, okay, grab the surgical tables. And she's going.
Well, and she's there lugging, too. She's not just giving orders. She's doing the hauling and the pushing and everything else. Well, now that then led to another wonderful thing that took place at her home. And what was that called? That was the first big pet adoption.
It was our first Super Pet Adoption Fair, and we ended up having 7 of the local animal welfare organizations participate. We had about 150 dogs and cats that were there. We turned her garage into a cattery and had the cat...
A cattery. I love that. A cattery.
Yes. And we ended up having like these cat condos where there were 3 high, and all these animals were up for adoption. And
how many were there about?
There were 150 that we started with for the day, and it was a 6-hour stretch from 10 until 4. And we adopted out 87% of those animals. We actually had people coming that said, I can't take my dog anymore. Please help me find it a home. And as much as we can, without knowing the history of an animal, we help them find somebody else to take that dog. So it was a great experience. The Coachella Valley Animal Campus, Save a Pet, Humane Society, Animal Rescue Friends from Idlewild, Living Free, all these groups that never worked together were all there working cooperatively.
Well, here again, that's the amazing thing, because as I said earlier, organizations have a way that, and this is not a put down. An organization has a certain mandate that they want to follow. They have a certain way of doing things. They believe in the way. They have people supporting them. But here again, your organization was able to get all of these organizations together and convince them, look, why should we keep repeating these things? Why not get together, and we'll be more successful that way? Now, how long did that process take? Did it start with the roundup, the first roundup? Was that the beginning of getting these people after Duravel?
You know what? That was really the start of it. We did the first adoption fair last November, and it was really the start. And when Lindi first proposed it, a lot of the organizations said, "Well, we already go to Save a Pet, or we go to Petco or PetSmart." And honestly, it was Cookie Briney from the county facility who said, "You know what? Let's try this. Let's try all of us bringing our dogs and cats there. Let's see what happens if we do it together." And everyone was out of dogs. Palm Springs Shelter had to come back twice to pick up more dogs.
Isn't that amazing? Well,
yes.
and cats are the big thing, and I do want to talk about cats since my feature today was this wonderful cat, Dewey. What's the percentage of cats that are in shelters these days as opposed to dogs? I know there's a lot of dogs, a lot of cats because of the downturn in the economy, but it seems that cats are the larger numbers.
There are hundreds of thousands of cats, and the other thing that you find with cats is that they're smaller and they're more mobile, so a lot of owners, when they're losing their homes, they leave the cat.
Yeah, and they can hide in these strange places.
And they open the door, let the cat run outside, and that cat doesn't realize his owners have left, so now he keeps staying with this house, but now there's no food, and now there's no water. There are Animal Samaritans is a great example. They are 90% cats. So Humane Society does another great thing also. They've got a cat house where you walk into, it's an actual house, and these bedrooms are converted into cat cages, kennels, whatever you want to call them. But they've got furniture in there for them to sit on, and they've got cat condos. And Ann Berry made that donation to the Humane Society, and it's a beautiful way to really get to know cats' personalities.
Well, and I think we have to remind people, too, of the fact, the reason for why we want as many of these animals to be adopted as possible. First of all, most of us are animal lovers, but after a certain period, what happens to these animals if they're not adopted?
Unless they are at a no-kill shelter, they are euthanized.
Yes.
And for every animal that goes into a shelter, it costs taxpayers $432 just for that cat or dog to be taken into the shelter. Now, let's say it sits there for 2 weeks, nobody wants it, be it a cat or a dog, and cats do have higher euthanization rates, but then we pay as taxpayers another fee to have that animal put to sleep. Or to be real blunt, they're euthanized, they're killed. There's no room in that shelter.
Yeah.
And it's you look at some of these beautiful animals that want the homes, and there's got to be a better way to reach everybody everywhere that's looking for the animals, so that you have that whole turning where you see this cat and somebody networks it to their friends, somebody adopts that cat, and that opens up that shelter for another cat that also needs a home.
Yes. And, of course, then the second problem with that, too, is if they're let loose and they're running around, then they become wild, feral cats. And then that's a major problem. Now, didn't they try to round up a lot of those cats at Duraville also and spade them, or did they concentrate on the dogs?
They concentrated on the dogs.
Yeah, it was a little tough.
It was very, very hard. In catching feral cats is really, there's two people in the valley that do it, and they set traps. And what they've been trying to do is set traps, capture these feral cats, and then have them spayed or neutered and then re-released.
And then put them back into the wild, because they are wild animals.
Absolutely.
Aren't they?
They are very wild animals, and they're never going to have that bond and that trust with a human. They're not dangerous. They're not intentionally
But they can't be
They're never going to be your house pet. They might
yeah.
come to your front door and lap some milk out of a saucer, and
That's about as close as they're going to get.
As close as you want to get also, certainly.
But we want people to think about cats. We want people to think about dogs also. But like you said, Tracy, 90% of the animals there are cats. So we don't want to keep just pushing these poor little, cute little things away. And yet it's hard. The economy is tough. So what about somebody that wants to adopt a cat and can't afford to do so? Is there something available for them? Do they get lesser fees? Or I know you can go to Animal Samaritans and the new clinic, and you can get the shots at a lower rate. Is that what you would recommend for people to do?
Each shelter really sets their own rates. Each shelter decides what their adoption fee is. When we do our adoption roundup in November, that's a great opportunity for people to come and see every single shelter in this valley, plus some of them coming from the LA area. And you can really see the difference in personalities of cats and what their adoption fee is.
Well, let's talk about that, because that's basically the big thing that you're here to talk about too, and this is the 2010 Super Pet Adoption Roundup. Let's give the who, what, where, and when.
Okay, it is on Saturday and Sunday, November 20th and 21st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Jackalope Ranch in Indio. And
the address on that is 80400 Highway 111, Indio, California. Now, who's participating there?
We've got about 30 animal welfare organizations that are coming. We have some breed-specific, a golden retriever, a Bichon rescue, a Chow rescue. And then we've got all of the valley ones, the Indio Shelter, the Palm Springs Shelter, Coachella Valley Animal Campus, Humane Society of the Desert.
Animal Samaritans.
Yes, Animal Samaritans.
Riverside County Animal Campus, plus many, many more. How many groups do you think will be there about, roughly?
30. I think there'll be 30 different adoption organizations.
But then we're going to have a lot of fun, too, because there's all kinds of things that are going on there. And, of course, Valerie Katz at my sister station here in our broadcasting is going to be there with a lot of other personalities. But we want to mention Valerie because she's part of us here at our broadcasting. And you're going to have the veterinarian there, too.
Yes, Lillian Roberts. She is a veterinarian with a practice on Gerald Ford and Country Club Animal Clinic, and she's always partnered with us. She gives free animal exams. So if you're considering a dog and you want to know, is it healthy? Is it prone to hip dysplasia? What is its breed history? Lillian is there to help out.
Now, why don't you give us your telephone number if someone wants to call you to get information on this, or they've got an animal that they can't keep any longer, or they want to adopt a pet. What's the telephone number?
It's 760-776-9397.
And you have a website for Loving All Animals. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So what is that website?
Our website is lovingallanimals.org. And you can follow us on Facebook at lovingallanimals.org.
Now, who is chairing this event?
It is Joy Diffendahl.
We want to mention that. Joy Diffendahl.
Joy Diffendahl, who is on a major stress diet right now, bringing all these different organizations and people together is an overwhelming job, and she's doing it with such style.
And she worked very closely with Lindi, didn't she, in the startup of this, along with many, many others whose names we cannot mention, of course. But
yes, Joy actually chaired our inaugural adoption fair last November, and she's chairing it again this year, and this year is 2 days instead of one, so it's twice as big. And
yes, again, it's Saturday and Sunday, November 20th to 21st, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Jackalope Ranch on Highway 111 in Indio. And that's such a fun place to go to. So you want to go not only to adopt the animals, but it's being held at this great place so that you can have a lot of fun. Now, there's going to be hundreds of pets up for adoption. You're going to have microchipping and entertainment, vendors, raffle prizes, food vendors. Talk a little bit about what else is going to be there. And bring the kids, right?
Oh,
we want the kids.
Yes, there'll be animal-oriented coloring books and activities for kids, but it's really designed to be a 2-day fair. So there'll be grooming demonstrations, dog walking demonstrations. There'll be some of the local high school dance teams performing. We've got a few musicians playing. There's 2 stages. So you'll be able to get some dog-focused information on the dog stage and some cat-focused information on the cat stage, and meet a lot of animals up for adoption.
Well, it's going to be a fun time, and I can hardly wait. I want one of those coloring books. I think
You
I
can
want to
have
get that.
one.
Well, Tracey, we are out of time. Thanks so much for being here.